Put your hands high, high.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
For the very first time, we introduced the Sique-Kidd podcast. This is your host,
Sique-Kidd.
And we're going to talk about a number of topics in the United States this week. First off, our hats go off to New York for legalizing medical marijuana. Even though it's a non-smokable form, it's still a step in the right direction.
Yeah, man, I think that's a pretty big deal right there, dude.
First, we had Washington, we got Colorado, making record number of profits, more than they even projected out there. People having a blast, violence is down, crime is down, profits are up, they're taxing the shit out of it, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, I mean, companies are making money. People are getting fair price, dude. That's the way it should have been the whole time.
So that makes the 23rd state in the United States to legalize medical marijuana. We got some outliers out there like Alaska, Arizona, obviously California out there doing it. You know, they don't call it California Kush for no reason. But it looks like this thing is really catching fire. And of course, you know, we live in Texas. We probably going to be the last ones out there. But based off of recent polls, the numbers are surprising. Even though we're in the Bible Belt, it's just a matter of time. Hopefully, it's within the next couple years where...
I mean, I think some of those statistics are kind of skewed, too, because the main people who are probably, you know, polling, actually going out and taking these... polls are probably, you know, your conservative, Republican type person who really probably wouldn't be down to legalize marijuana. I mean, everybody who's probably smoking it probably isn't making it out to the polls.
Exactly. And last I heard, like, the polls, it was almost close to 50-50. And, you know, so we got, you know, our brothers and, you know, the Latinos out there. You got your hipsters out there. Those people ain't taking no fucking government polls to see where it's at, you know what I'm saying? So the number probably is more close to 70-30. So
definitely, hopefully
soon enough we will get medical marijuana, but we'll probably be long gone out this place by then. Shout out to Cali, shout out to New York City for doing the right thing.
You know, our Washington D.C. legalize not the recreational use, but the medicinal use too. So that's our nation's capital that did it. So I think it's slowly catching wind, and pretty soon here, I'd say within the next 10 years for sure, we're gonna have most of the states at least medicinal use.
Yeah, and I had a conversation like recently with my own mother, talking about marijuana, and she's always saying, "Oh, don't you smoke that stuff, blah blah blah." I'm like, I had to drop some knowledge on her. I'm like, all the not just smoking it, just the medical benefits of it. You got like somebody like Tommy Chong, you know, from Cheech and Chong, you know, the Bob, he's on the weed Mount Rushmore, Cheech and Chong, Snoop Dogg, and Bob Marley, and homeboy Woody. Man, what's his name? The Nelson.
Woody or
what's his name? the singer.
Damn.
Woody Nelson?
No, that's not Woody Nelson.
Y'all excuse us for not knowing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Dude with the American bandana. God damn, what's his name? Something Nelson.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name right now too. Everybody knows who it is. Texan guy, right? He's from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson.
Close enough.
Okay, well, back to the point.
Tomato.
The Mount Rushmore. Tommy Chong was diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago, and he had a tumor, and he used no like doctor prescribed treatment. He solely on the use of cannabis oil and modified diet, his tumor shrinked completely, and now he's 99% 99% cancer free. Let that sink in. 99% cancer free. Simply off of using cannabis oil. I saw a documentary about, what was that, Vice?
Vice, with
where
the little kids
prescribed, where were they? Were they in Cali?
They were in Oregon, but she had, I can't remember what she had, but she was taking some medicine that was just wrecking her, I think she had cancer. It was just wrecking
some
her
kind of
immune
cancer.
system. Couldn't
Cancer.
eat, couldn't keep anything down, was sick all the time from all the chemo.
So some of these conservatives out here would rather have people die a slow, painful death, can't eat, can't sleep, shitting all the time, than let them use some medical marijuana because their good butt says so.
Yeah, I mean, from all the times that I've seen it, it just improves their quality of life. Once they start doing it, everything starts changing. They all start getting better naturally. I mean, it's an herb, man.
It's a plant.
Yeah, it's a plant.
Keep that in mind. The good God Almighty created all things on this earth, including each and every plant, which includes the good marijuana. Recent documents were released by the Freedom of Information Act, and I saw this article where Nixon had some scientists do some research on marijuana and its potential for medical use, and their findings were saying it could be used to treat cancer. It fights abnormal cells and boosts immune system. Apparently, from the article, what I read, that Nixon was apparently infuriated by this. He made the documents and all the information classified, and it wasn't released until now. And you know how long ago that was with Nixon. So with this big American propaganda machine, the only reason it's illegal in the first place because it was a direct competitor of cotton. Hemp is a superior product. You could build cars out of it. Your clothes is a better material than cotton, and the people that own the cotton companies back in the day, the cotton gin.
Yeah, they had that monopoly on it.
They had a monopoly. They had lobbyists. They put money in the pockets of these politicians. They snuck the bill in one of these laws to make it illegal. And hemp isn't even psychoactive. You can't get high off of smoking hemp or injecting it or wherever the hell you want to do with it. It was a superior product, in fear of them going bankrupt when people with the widespread popularity of hemp and using its fibers to make clothes, they made it illegal. They pumped money into these private independent films demonizing marijuana, saying if you smoke marijuana, it makes blacks and Latinos horny and want to go rape white women. That's true. I'm not fucking around here. They literally said weed makes Negroes and Latinos horny and rape their white women. So of course, that spread, and those people are easily influenced, especially more religious folk that listen to those things, and
I mean, slavery was still around at that time, so of course they're gonna try and subdue the Latino and black population.
So the whole reason marijuana was illegal in the first place is it's because
it was competing against
cotton. How ridiculous is that? This is 2014. Yeah. We've been free for so long. Civil rights has happened. Women's rights has happened. Gay rights has happened. And we're still in cahoots over a plant that makes you silly and hungry. That's ridiculous. People are starting to come around. Obviously, 23 states legalize it. I try to educate as many people as possible on, the statistics. Okay, even on the medical use and even recreationally, like, it's a good fucking time. I prefer to smoke a little here and there rather than get drunk. Alcohol is legal. You could do that at 21. How many people die from alcohol related deaths a year?
That and cigarettes. I mean, look at the two top intoxicants that you can get your hands on legally: alcohol and cigarettes. Both of them kill you. I mean, alcohol is there at the end of the week. You know, you go out and have a drink, makes you forget about your 9 to 5. Cigarettes, kind of relieve the stress from working your 9 to 5. On the other hand, you got weed. Whenever you smoke that, you think about your 9 to 5 and what you're doing. You're just another cog in the grand machine of the industrial complex. That's why I think it's still illegal.
Exactly, and think about how many with Facebook and YouTube and cameras on every single phone. How many times have you seen people, the knockout videos, world star hip hop? How much decline would it be if weed was legal and these people would be happy? You would be running around doing the knockout game, knocking out grandmas. You'll be at home watching Netflix, order some pizza, and having a jolly old time. So the statistics for alcohol-related deaths in the United States, 75,000 deaths a year of alcohol. Alcohol is a poison. You could drink a gallon of moonshine and fucking die in your room, in your bed, all alone. How many people die from cigarettes a year? Let's look that up. What is it, 200,000?
200,000? I'd say about 200,000. Sounds about right.
Each year, 443,000 people die prematurely from smoking or exposure. So this is not even necessarily people that's actually buying the Newports in the store, just from exposure. But why are these things still legal? The things that on the box it says, hey, by the way, this shit will kill you.
Guess how many people die from marijuana?
0. Count it. 0.
Exactly.
Reported deaths from marijuana each year. Ever, actually. But these big tobacco is in the pockets of these politicians. And of course, whenever you ever heard a president say, hey, cigarettes are bad, you probably shouldn't do that. Because they fund these people campaigns behind the scenes. The senators, the governors, the House representatives, all of them. So, you got a plant that makes you silly, and then you got a plant that kills $443,000 people a year. Let that sink in a little bit. But enough of that doom and gloom. Let's talk about Josh Gordon a little bit. How many people have marijuana affected in a negative way? Josh Gordon recently got suspended for a whole year from the NFL, receiver of the Cleveland Browns. Guy, out of Baylor. He was on the top 100 NFL list. I think he was like top 20, actually. Talented guy at the beginning of his career. Yeah. And he is suspended for a year from the NFL.
Without pay, too?
Without pay for smoking. A
harmless plant.
You got people like the honey badger.
Yeah.
smoke a little herb, and suspended from LSU. Changed his whole life.
Yeah, like Ricky Williams. Suspended. Basically couldn't.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. If you look at his any of his interviews, like, he's the most peaceful guy. He's a Buddhist. He meditates and builds huts all around the world for people, relaxes. I saw him recently in Dallas at the Texas Longhorn little tour. Nice guy. All he did wrong was smoke a little green, and how many times was he suspended? How many people wouldn't want to pick him up because he smoked a silly plant? How many people are locked up because of this plant? Recent reports show that California's Supreme Court has ordered them to release 46,000 prisoners over the next 2 years because of overcrowding. That's just California. Yeah. 46,000. Currently, there's over 2 million prisoners in the United States.
I'm looking at this graph right now. It says U.S. prison population as of January 25th, 2014. And the highest rating right now, the reason why most people are in jail, drug offenses. And any other, it's 98,000. And any other category is not even close. They don't even break 20,000. So drug offenses are over 3 times as many on a conservative estimate. That's ridiculous. The war on drugs is obviously failing right now. They just needed a reason to get a new budget going, fund some money, give people jobs, and now it's gotten so intertwined with the legal system that it's almost impossible for them to end the war on drugs, because you put over, I don't know, let's say 100,000 people out of a job right there, just ending the war on drugs. I mean, let's not even talk about the private prison system. I mean, yeah, that's just ridiculous. How can you privatize putting people in jail? That's almost modern day slavery.
So people are making money off of sending people to jail for having a couple grams of a silly plant in their pocket. There's countries across the world right now that's actually decriminalizing drugs, period. That's everything. Not just weed, heroin, cocaine, all that. Not that I condone those things, because there's a difference. You could die from heroin. You could die from cocaine.
That'll ruin your life.
And weed is just going to make you hungry. Portugal's drug abuse has been cut in half since they decriminalized drugs. So that was 10 years ago. 10 years, and their drug abuse in their entire population is cut in half. So it's kind of like having a bad teenager. If you tell your teenager, hey, don't date that guy over there across the street, he's bad for you, what is she going to do? She's going to sneak out the house and climb in the window of the guy you told her don't do. Because that's how people are. When you tell them not to do shit, that's exactly what they want to do. If we had facilities where people could actually go to places and learn about drugs, or not even drugs. Come on, like, weed's not a drug. Not really. Not more than alcohol.
Yeah. Drug is a relative term.
So if you take a drink or two, and your boss comes up to you and say, hey, do you do drugs? Alcohol gets you drunk. You can't drive. You can't function.
It's mind-altering.
So do you do drugs?
Should be considered a drug.
Exactly.
I think these other countries have better ways to handle drug users too. Like with them, they'll send them to rehab,
exactly,
community, something like that to help them. So what do we do here in America? Oh, you doing drugs? You're going to jail. What are you gonna do in jail? Just sit around. You're not
and it's
the
at the
problem.
taxpayer's expense.
Yeah.
So, okay, instead of trying to really rehabilitate these people, real drug users, people that might actually have a real problem, instead of sending them to rehab centers or getting them the help they need to get their life together to be a contributing citizen of the community, you rather send them into a cell and have my tax dollars pay for this person to eat and to house these people. And there's people out there that actually make money off of sending people to prison. There's this article that came out earlier in the year about the music industry and how these big record companies has spent millions of dollars building these private prisons, and because their executives have so much control over manipulating the public through music, particularly hip hop or gangster rap, they directly influence the youth by pumping out certain kind of music more than others to raise the crime rate in a direct way, and then the crime rate's going up. People are going to prison. They're making money off of it. You're selling CDs and you're selling prison. In this article, they said a bunch of bigwigs, high-level executives, and a couple of different major record labels had a secret meeting, and they discussed how the company had invested millions of dollars, and that their job was to impact the youth and society to make the crime rate go up so they could profit off of it. That's the kind of thing that we're dealing with. And not only Congress itself, because they're tied into it as well, but with big business as well. It's all about money. And once people start realizing, once the government start realizing you could tax the shit out of weed 36%.
Yeah. Use it for better uses.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about what it does to you, as long as they're making money. If they can make money off of it, they're gonna own those facilities. They're gonna own those factories.
They don't care about your health.
They don't care about any of that. And
they're still selling cigarettes.
People sell their homes. They get double mortgages to pay for these cancer treatments that kills 1 in 6 people. So chemotherapy kills 1 in 6 of the people that use it. And obviously it's, debilitating. You can't move. You can't fucking work. You can't do anything. It gets you sick. Sometimes it kills you. You got to buy their drugs. You got to use their treatment that keeps them rich. And they're in the pockets of the politicians as well. But we're going to move on to something lighter because we don't want to overkill you guys. It was announced today, LeBron James, your King James.
LeBron James going to Cleveland.
Going back home to Cleveland. Everybody knows that I am not a LeBron fan. I'm a Kobe guy. He's the closest to MJ there is to me. He had LeBron got his 2 rings. He got to get to 5 before I could put him on that pedestal. But he's going back. He's going back to Cleveland. Looks like they're gonna try to trade Wiggins to get Kevin Love. They're moving the pieces. Chris Bosh is apparently going to Houston on a max contract. Houston also matched the Mavericks bid on Chandler Parsons, so they're hoping to be in that sweepstakes to get better too. So a lot of moving parts in the NBA right now.
Let's talk about the Spurs. The Spurs, man,
the NBA champions
re-signed their whole team. And how much did you hear about it in SportsCenter or ESPN? Nothing. You didn't hear not a damn thing.
The Spurs
They
have
won the
secretly
championship. Come on,
re-signed all of their championship team. Still looking to wreak havoc.
They're still gonna recap.
Timmy Duncan still going. The Spurs are, as I like to call them, the White Walkers of the NBA.
Game of Thrones reference.
Looks to terrorize for another season. Still no word on Carmelo Anthony and where he's going.
I actually think he should try out the Bulls. I think he'd fit nicely with the Bulls.
The Bulls, LA Lakers. They ain't gonna be able to give him the money, but it's gonna be time to rebuild soon. Hopefully
if he wants to win a championship, he should go with the Clippers.
But nobody's gonna be able to match the contract that the Knicks could give them, which is apparently 5 years, 127 mil. So there's a high chance that he ends up back at the Knicks, because we know Carmelo loves his money. And he's super family oriented. Of course, him and his wife and his family, they love New York. But I could see him and Lala on the beach in L.A. doing their thing, sending their kids out there to those private schools. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I don't really like putting my head too much into free agency and off season because I feel like I'd rather just see them play,
And speaking of LA, I know this is off topic. Kanye West, Kim Kardashian selling the home that they just bought, gutted it, selling it. Apparently gonna move somewhere else. Kanye West, Kanye's my favorite. He's supposed to be putting out another album this year. He played 20 new songs in a club that he DJ'd at recently. We don't know if any of those songs are gonna make the album, but from that Adidas commercial, you saw the FIFA, the one with Messi. He had a song called "God Level" on there. It was just a sample. It sounded like a Jesus throwaway track. Hate him or love him, Kanye's the most polarizing person, and not just hip hop, but just in music in general.
Shoot, Kanye's like the LeBron James of music.
Ooh.
No, I'm just saying, just in the way he's polarizing. Like, you either love him or you hate him.
True. And, of course, more people hate Kanye nowadays than they love him. You got your hardcore fans, but even with Yeezus, you lost some people. And he was booed recently. He does those rants during his...
He got booed at, Bonnaroo, right?
I can't remember which one it was. He got booed when he started making one of his rants. But Kanye's gonna be Kanye, and some other things with the music industry. Drake had to cancel his another person I don't like. Just letting y'all know.
Drake, yeah. Why? Because he does right and kills everything.
Oh, because I don't have enough estrogen to like Drizzy, the sprinkles on his cupcake. Kanye played three Drake songs covering for him because Drake had to cancel his performance. Looks like Drake and Chris Brown and made up. They were photographed in a studio recently. Of course, they were arguing over Riri, but they should know Rihanna is everybody's girlfriend. Apparently her and Drake are no longer together. But we're gonna let you guys go. Thanks for
that was a good starter episode.
This is just the beginning. We got some guests coming up. We're gonna try to do this every week. Our next guest is gonna be Doc Ryans. He has his own podcast. He's starting up too. We're gonna get into some politics, the corruption of the government, and what we could do to get out of this clusterfuck we call the American justice system. This is So Sick.
This kid.
You listening to the Sique-Kidd podcast. Y'all be good. Until the next time. See ya.
See ya.
Toodles.